going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. A depressing day yesterday. I haven't really got over it yet, but we're here to bring you our match ratings of the game, so here it is.
Obviously 2-0 defeat to Arsenal yesterday. We'll start with Hugo Lloris. I actually thought he made a lot of saves yesterday, especially in the second half. He wasn't really to blame for either goal.
He wasn't at fault for either of the goals. You know,
and
both goals were offside anyway.
Yeah. I actually thought he had a decent game.
I'll probably give him a 7.
Trippier.
Shocking display from Trippier. Defensively all over the place.
He whipped in a few crosses, but no one was on the end of them.
They got in behind over and over again. You can't play like that in a North London derby.
I'm going to give him a 5.
I was going to give him a 4.
We'll go for a 4. Ben Davies.
Exactly the same as Trippier, to be honest.
I think it's just a bit worse.
Even worse, yeah. He had so much joy down that side.
Bellerin was getting in for fun. Ozil down that side as well. Davis was really struggling.
He made Bellerin look like the best attacking right back in the Premier League.
To be fair, Davis, he got into some nice positions, but again, didn't really deliver. Couldn't really pick out a man when he got into attacking positions, but he was seriously exposed at the back. So I'm also going to give him a 4. 4, yeah. Davinson Sanchez.
He was definitely the best out of the 3. First half he was getting exposed, but second half he saved our blushes really, because we could have been 3-4, 5-0 down if it wasn't for him. He had an amazing display in that second half.
I thought he was absolutely phenomenal in that second half. He really, especially when Arsenal were hitting us on that break over and over again, he was really the only one back there. I did think in the first half he was struggling against Alexis Sanchez, even though he gave away the free kick, which definitely wasn't a foul.
I'm going to give him a 7.
I agree with that.
Jan Vertonghen.
He kind of got outfoxed by Ozil for second goal. He was also struggling. He wasn't his same self. He wasn't getting in front of people. He wasn't intercepting the ball. He wasn't reading the play as well as we used to. He did alright, kind of joining the midfield as he does, creating that extra player. But he struggled big time.
It was just an off day for him, and it's really upsetting because he's been on such form for us recently. And to put in a performance like that in a North London derby of all games is just really upsetting, to be honest.
Yeah, he got caught out so many times. Our defence was just so exposed. It was a shambles.
A complete shambles. And it's not like the Tottenham we've seen over the last 2 years. And especially in a big game, like a game against Arsenal, we're not used to seeing performances like that against Arsenal.
So I'm going to give him a 5.
I'll give him a 4 even.
Eric Dyer?
4 again. Literally.
Yeah,
same as Jan Vertonghen.
I think it set the tone really. When was it, like the first minute or second minute? He had the ball and he gave it away. Like he was trying to pass it out and he was pressed
sloppy.
high.
I don't understand
and they just gave him the ball in the final third, and it kind of set the tone for the game that moment. What Arsenal's attack did to our defence is what usually we do to most teams. They press them really high, relentless in their play. It was quite impressive. Not something we haven't seen from Arsenal, especially this season or for a few years, played like that. So whether it's a case of them just upping their game for a one-off game or it's something we'll see more consistently, is yet to be seen.
It's like when West Ham come and perform once a year against us. You know what I mean?
Moussa Dembele.
I actually thought he had an alright game, Moussa. He was making his presence known. He was winning the ball back in the middle of the park. He was gliding past players a bit, trying to make stuff happen. But at the end of the day, he wasn't fit enough to complete 90 minutes and got taken off with half an hour to go.
Usually he's not, is he? I would say in the first half especially, I think early on in the first half, he was actually quite good. He was, as you said, he was winning the ball back quite well. He was gliding past players, as Moussa Dembele always does. But he tried a few killer passes. They were kind of easy to read. They got intercepted quite easily. And those things weren't really coming off for him. I don't think he was too bad before he came off. I don't think he definitely wasn't one of our worst players. But it's always the thing with Dembele, does he do enough in that final third of the pitch? And he definitely didn't against Arsenal, so I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah, agreed. Moussa Sissoko.
If people around us were giving him a lot of stick, I actually don't think he was too bad in this game. I think he was the only player really who was getting on the ball. He was driving forward. He did that many times, and he was actually looking to make things happen. He was getting around on the outside. He was actually getting a bit wide, trying to get some crosses in.
Do you think that was tactical to put him in instead of Winks, or was it?
It's hard to say. I think it's hard to say. I think because we usually have someone like Wanyama in there who really bullies them, maybe he was trying to compensate for that and put Sissoko in, but instead of Winks. But I think we did lack a bit, especially on the ball, just technically. We did really fail to pass around Arsenal's high press, and I think maybe we thought that they weren't going to be as intense in their press. We couldn't play around them.
We really couldn't match them for passion, intensity, and that's what we usually say about teams trying to play against us.
Anyway, Sissoko I'm going to give a 6. I don't think it's too bad. Christian Eriksen.
Poor, missing, didn't turn up.
he actually, even in the first half from the start of the game, he did look a bit leggy.
Yeah, you turned around and 20 minutes gone, you said that to me.
Yeah, I said Eriksen, it looked a bit tidy. Maybe 2 very absorbing games for Denmark in midweek maybe affected him, but I don't know. He was coming in, as he said after the game, he came into the game full of confidence after that hat-trick, amazing hat-trick for Denmark. And they shackled him well. We couldn't really get service to him. Whenever he did try and make things happen, his crosses were getting cut out, and he really struggled. It was such a juxtaposition to how Ozil played. Because Ozil was absolutely fantastic.
We've been banging on all week how Eriksen's better than Ozil, and they both put in completely contrasting performances, and not the way that we were saying.
You got to give it to Ozil. He had an absolutely phenomenal game. He ran rings around us most of the time. But what you've got to say is, over the past year, Eriksen's definitely been the better player, but he didn't show on Saturday, unfortunately, and he got shown up.
Yeah, big time.
So I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah,
it was really
agree.
Cool. Dele Alli. Dele.
He was awful. Seriously awful. Didn't do anything. Literally, every time he got the ball, he probably lost it.
Yeah, there were even times that second half where he picked up the ball and he found a pocket of space, and he had the ball and he just was hanging onto it for too long, or he was trying something, you know, when there was a better pass, a through ball on or something, and he was just hanging onto the ball a bit too much.
You're crying out for him to keep it simple, play the ball. They were so up for it, and you got players like Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen just strolling through the game.
Yeah, letting him pass him by. It was a really disappointing display from Dele. I would go as far as say I'd probably give him a 3.
Yeah, Harry Kane.
He was really well shackled for most of the game. It was really 1 against 3 for a lot of the time. Dele was kind of floating around and he was left there kind of isolated. You could see his knee was strapped. Yeah. So clearly he wasn't 100% fit. But
you could see in his play he wasn't 100% fit as well.
There are moments, like in the first half, he dribbled past like 2-3 players, but he dragged his shot wide. And I think when he came out in the second half, he did show some fight. He got that booking for a sliding challenge, trying to keep the ball in. When Arsenal players trying to shackle it out of play. I think there were moments he held the ball up quite well when he was bringing other players into play in moments, but it wasn't enough. It was just...
Look, the effort was there from him.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll say. You wouldn't be able to criticise the amount of effort he put in the game. You could see he was passionate.
You could see he wanted it, but it's a shame you couldn't see it with anyone else.
Every shot Kane had was blocks, and they defended well against him. So I'm going to give him a 5.
You got to give it to Arsenal yesterday, because they completely played us off the park.
They did.
From start to finish. Yeah. Look, they got 2 of their goals shouldn't really have been a goal.
Yeah.
Because of the free kick and because of the 2 offsides. But at the end of the day, you don't come away from that disappointed with the result, because we deserve that completely. Obviously, you were disappointed, we're upset because it's a North London derby, but with the way the game went, they completely played us off the park.
I've never seen Spurs, especially in the last 2 years, I would say, be so dominated for 90 minutes in any game, really. Yeah. Even like when we've lost like Chelsea or Man United, we've always been in the game, we've always been in chance, even in our losses. But this game was probably the first time, I would say, probably since the second season, that we've really been thoroughly dominated for 90 minutes, and not even we had to wait till the 85th minute to force check into a save. And it wasn't really good enough, and there was that passion was really lacking, and it was sloppy, it was slow, and it was something we definitely didn't think we would see in the derby, and it was a real shame.
No heart, no gut, no desire. There was literally nothing there. It was I put it up there with one of the worst Poch performances.
Oh, for sure.
If not the worst.
Definitely one of them. They didn't give us an inch, didn't give us any chance to build a play, didn't get any fluidity. But it just remains to be seen whether they can do that consistently over the season.
And look, everyone laughs at Wenger for his record away at the top 6, but Poch has just as bad as record.
Well, I think the whole away record it is a bad.
We've won once in the last since he's taken over.
We have since Poch taken over. We only won 1 away at the Big 6. However, in the last 20 games away to the Big 6, Wenger's only won 1 or 2. And also Mourinho in his last 17 away to the Big 6, he's only won 3. So it's not like those other managers are winning consistently away from home in the Big 6. That I agree with you. To be title challengers, we 100% need a better record there. Especially we've lost 10. I think that's the worst thing. We've lost 10 of those 17 games. So that's probably the most disappointing aspect. But they're the Big 6 for a reason. You know, it's always going to be more difficult away to the Big 6 to win games. If we're going to be a big team, we need to improve.
Exactly, big time.
Would you give Pochettino
I'd give him a 4. You could see from the first kick of the game that Arsenal were way more up for it than us. and he struggled really to change anything, to be honest.
I think he waited way too late to make changes.
Half-time, it was calling out for changes, didn't do anything. I would have put Winks on at half-time.
I remember telling you 20 minutes in, I was like, we need half-time here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, I would happy to go in at half-time 0-0 right now because we look like we're going to concede.
100%.
I think he definitely waited too long in the second half to make changes. Also, I think, surprisingly, I actually think we looked our most dangerous when Laurentin Son were up front there. He was actually winning a few headers. Son had a chance. It was just way too little, way too late for Pochettino. He didn't try enough to make sure that they were really up for this game because they were not.
Look, it's a North London derby. The manager shouldn't have to get the players up for it. That's the truth be told. But he didn't get them up for it.
It's really puzzling how we were so flat in this game.
After that gut-wrenching performance.
Yeah. This was probably the hardest player ratings we'll have to do all season.
We kind of did go into hiding for 24 hours after that.
Yeah, well, I couldn't do anything after that game. I just sat in my room and just shut the door, and that was it. I'm not talking to anyone about anything. I'm shutting my phone off. I'm not looking at the internet. Not doing anything. I'm just watching a movie or something. I had to block it all out. I couldn't. It was a bad day. It was a a
very depressing. It was like being a Spurs fan back in.
Yeah, it was back to our roots. Back in the dark ages.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get.
Anyway, it doesn't stop here. We fly out to Amsterdam tomorrow. Dortmund via Amsterdam.
Onwards and upwards. We'll move on from this result. So I know it's a bad result. It feels like our season's over or in tatters after this game, but you know, we've still got a lot to play for. We're still, you know, challenging at the top end of the league. We're still top of our Champions League group, and we, you know, we'll be in the FA Cup in the second half of the season. Hopefully, we can have a good run in that. So there's still loads to play for this season. Nothing's finished yet, even though it's a bad day. But nothing's over. If you like our content, like, subscribe and comment below. Let us know your player ratings. Let us know who your man of the match was. And as always,
come on you Spurs!